fucking hate fish. Fuck your fish. Fuck Spanky and Sparky and Little Sleepy or whatever it is. Yeah, because fishing is a brutal sport. It's for people who hate fish, especially ones that just put the fish back in there. Really? It's a sport where you take an animal, drag it by its face against its will by a metal hook, and then pull it in and then say, just kidding, pop it out, and then let him go back into the river for another like traumatic experience of going and experience being drug in by the face by a predator and then just being like, just kidding.
If you think that a fish that fell for that once is going to be so easy to catch a second time, you're out of your rabbit ass mind.
That's what you got from that?
𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 Canyon is gold medal waters. It's renowned across the world for fly fishing.
The world.
And one of the things about it is not only does it have the right environment for these predatory brown trout to reach some nice hog sizes. There's some like 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s in there that are nice sizes. And it's gold medal waters. It's 60 pounds of trout per acre. It's a gang of trout. I don't know if you've seen trout, but they're not very heavy. So to get 60 pounds of them is a lot. In any case, they get that big because they get caught when they're young. And they learn, then they don't get caught no more. That's how they get big. And so that's what makes it renowned and like one of the hardest places to fish. Fools go fish there all the time, but they can never catch nothing because them fish are too damn smart. Myself included. I watched a fish come up to my shit. Slow as shit, dude. Fucking orca. Go right up to my fly. Almost tip it with its nose. Look at it. And then just turn around and go away.
Damn.
Smart as fuck, dude. They figure it out, right? Yeah. So if you think it's just this fucking, they're living this crazy life where you're just torturing these fish. Oh my God, these poor fish are being pulled by their faces over and over again. Oh, they might have that happen to them once or twice, but they learn. And then they either die some other way, which is, I'm sure, awful inside of a lake. Never been down there. Don't know what it's like, but I'm sure it's awful to die down there. And, you know what I'm saying? Like anywhere else in nature, death is not easy. So, in any case, if, I don't know what could happen to a fish, get eaten by some shit, get pulled out of a motherfucker, out of that shit and ripped apart pieces while I'm alive and being fed to baby eagles. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what is in for a fish, but I do know that fish is bomb. And I'm gonna eat them little motherfuckers if they fall for my fly. Got him.
And I feel that. And you have
and
to.
And if he's too small, I'm gonna let him back.
Yeah, some of them you have to give back. You don't have a choice.
Oh, yeah.
Colorado Wildlife out here making us teach lessons to these fish for free, coming and catching them and letting them go, letting them just get all big.
It's to keep the population up because
there's socialism and free education and shit.
They're also like artificial flies only. You know why it's so artificial fly? It's because artificial flies almost always hook the lip. Boom. The safest part to hook on a fish. It's the lip. Right? When you go fishing with like a worm, they don't wait to find out what that is or try to taste it or pop it in their mouth or whatever. They go full on, ooh, look, a worm. Inhale. And that's how you get them hooks in down there. And you can't pull them out without killing that fish. So there you go. It's acting like it's not humane. And I don't even know if fish can feel their lips that way. I ain't a fish. I'm sure they probably can.
I mean, that does explain some of like the more like punk rock looking fish that I've caught that just have like lots of piercings on their lower lip. That makes a lot of sense. The golden water fish. Definitely.
You ain't never caught none of them fish, boy. You ain't never even seen a trout.
I have actually never caught a trout.
You ain't never even seen one, boy.
I've never even seen a trout.
That's what I'm saying. So how you gonna tell? How you gonna tell me? I'm like the trout whisperer, bro.
The trout whisperer?
To be honest, they call me and they're like, hey, fool, there's like trout over here on this bend of the river that are tripping. Will you come like talk to them?
I just imagine Justin putting his head down under the water, and like the only audio you hear as a human is talking to
subtitles.
a fish.
Hey, little foos.
And his hair's all flowing in the water. The fish are all talking to him. His head's under there.
What's up, little foo? Chilling.
Oh my gosh! There's
Heard y'all tripping over here. Nah.
Nah.
That's what they said, though. They're tripping. What'd they do? Boom. And just like the dog whisperer has to teach humans, I fuck around, turn around, and be like, hey, look, this is what y'all doing wrong. Boom. Gotta teach the humans. Holla at me. The Trout whisperer. I don't know if y'all can hear that motherfucking thunder, but it's 8/11. I don't even know what day it is. June 26th. It's been a couple weeks. We've been busy as a motherfucker. I'm sure you guys know. And it's 8/12 now, June 26th. Since the last time we was here, I don't remember how long it was. At least a couple weeks, right?
I think it's been since. Have we done anything in June? I don't think we've done anything in June.
Yeah, we did the beginning, I think. Anyways, my name is Justin. To my right, your left, that's gonna be Steven, aka Guy Spencer. Across from us, always producing the incredible Eric.
Yo.
And we are the hosts of the Lone Ranger vs. Tonto in this motherfucker.
Yeah, so Guy Spencer's been just real on it about trying to get back in here and get some more beer on the podcast and stuff. So I don't think I'm known as Guy Spencer, but yeah, he's been really excited, especially to get this beer on here. I'm fucking so pumped to drink this.
You're Guy Spencer?
Huh?
I'm the Trout Whisperer.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what the Trout Whisperer is talking about, but that's I think that's a really good that's a good pitch for Animal Planet. Is that still a channel that people watch or have? Hell yeah, Animal Planet is. I don't have cable, so I'm not aware of all the.
I feel like if Animal Planet went away, that would make news. You know what I mean? I don't have to have TV to know if some of them channels are still there. Like, you see people get all upset when they cancel anything, right? Like, somebody would be upset. Can't believe you canceled Animal Planet. Then you get other people. Nat Geo Wild's way better. You know?
Disney might
Is Nat Geo Wild still a thing? I assume
it's owned
Fox.
by Jenny now.
Fox got
Disney now. It's owned by Disney now.
Nat Geo. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yes, sir. Anyways, so it's been a while. We got thunder outside. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we don't lose power. But in any case, what's been up, y'all?
Gosh, trying to ride the roller coaster that is living in America right now for the last few weeks. Emotionally, just what's going on, physically with the virus and in Colorado, what's going on with all that. And it's just...
Well, what's going on? Update us. What you talking about?
Oh, I just mean it seems like it was very serious, and then some people started taking a little bit more lax. More things started opening up. More people started not wearing the PPE. And if you look at the numbers that came out today, it looks like we kind of hit a dip, and it looks like we're starting to climb back up. In terms of confirmed cases, deaths still look like from the coronavirus are still falling. But
Word.
Again, I don't know. I've been waiting to open up, even go back into my office for weeks, and they've opened it back up, but I've chosen to just continue working from home for the next few weeks and see where it goes, because I'm not sure if we've actually kind of leveled anything out in Colorado or not, and we'll go from there, see what happens. But I think we still got some time with being patient with the COVIDs, whatever that means to you, because it seems to mean a lot of different things to different people right now.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Look, man, I don't know nobody close to me that has COVID. Anybody I've been in contact with. And it's like, I don't know. It's hard to, it's like it's like the vaccine fear, when you're trying to explain to people why they should have vaccines. And because that fear is not like an immediate fear, it's not like something they can process as, or even sometimes people won't even like acknowledge the fear. They'll just be like, oh, like, okay, is that even a real thing? Should we be fearing that? In that same way. It's like, it's hard for me now. I don't feel that way about it. I'm just saying in that same way how that ends up. That's kind of how I feel with COVID is that I don't know nobody around me. And, I mean, I'm not having no parties or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'll have a party when all them politicians have a party, I'll have a party.
Donald Trump held a rally in Oklahoma.
Boy, I don't mean that guy. I mean the majority.
I heard millions of people signed up to go. It was a lit party, I thought.
Shout out to K-pop fans.
Shout out to K-pop fans. Who knew I was going to like K-pop in 2020? You would not guess that.
Yeah, who saw that happening?
BTS and Blackpink? We got you.
All right, shout out.
Eric saw that happening, apparently.
Eric was all over that.
I definitely didn't see that
Eric's
happening.
I had 800 tickets. What are you talking about?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, man. What a funny fail. I think the Trump stuff, they're in a little bit of a bad position, I think, right now. I don't know if they're I don't think they've improved their position through all of this in terms of election. And I do think that Biden and their campaign kind of has. Not by doing anything, but just letting Trump fail a little bit. I don't think they did anything to make them more popular. Trump has just been extra. And I think that they've kind of screwed the pooch, I think is the term that people use with this corona thing, the Trump administration.
So what do you think that means?
That they're what do you mean? What do I think what means?
What does all that matter?
Well, I think it matters because it gives Joe Biden a better chance at winning the election in November, which I personally don't give any fucks about, really. But a lot of people do and will. But we have a lot of local elections going on now as well. Primaries in our Senate, which we have some responsibility to get Cory Gardner the fuck out and not let him run again.
He did get the that Outdoors Act through, though. That was cool.
Why was that cool?
Everyone goes, oh, you're a Cory Gardner apologist. No. I fucking hate that guy.
Has anybody called you an apologist, Justin?
All the time, I feel like.
Who?
Everybody.
I'll fight him. Who?
Boy, I ain't saying no names, but you know who you are. And, I just, I'm not about, if we are going to go ahead and say, get him out. So let's also, and recently in the news, it was just last week, I believe, got the Outdoors Act passed, which was one of those things he had bipartisan support, and his main opposition was fucking Ted Cruz and the gang.
Ted Cruz and the gang?
Yeah. That sounds like a great Nick show.
Ted Cruz and the gang for sure.
Yeah. That's a Disney show?
Yeah, Ted Cruz and the gang. But because
Ted Cruz and the gang back in Texas.
Well, Ted Cruz is against any public lands.
Oh, he's still like openly a Tea Party member, right? Like just
I remember
he was a Tea Party.
He said he said at one point, and I don't remember who. I'm quoting somebody else who was quoting him, and I was just listening to it recently. Don't remember who, but he said something along the lines of Texas having 2% public lands, and it was 2% too much. That they should be private. They should be sold out.
Yeah, sounds like some bullshit.
You know what I mean?
Tea Party libertarian.
And so again, fuck Cory Gardner, but hey, I appreciate you for that wildlife act. Poorly timed. Feel like you could have.
Yeah, I don't even know
probably
what that
wrote
shit's
that
about. So I can't give you any accolades, Corey, but fuck you.
Public lands and stuff. I'm an active member of the backcountry hunters and anglers, and all that means is I pay my $10 each year and get the magazine. And I bought a shirt and a hat once, and besides that, I just use them to read up on shit. But yeah, they've been pushing that shit for a long time. And I remember they were pushing it from before, and it was something where it was like, call your senators, email your people, whatever. I signed a little petition where it sent, who is it, Michael Bennett? Is he the other one? Sent them both like an email thing or whatever about it. And then it was all over the thing, because I'm in Colorado. I especially got it. Boom. Your guy signed up. He's going to back it. Like it was like a big old thing.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
And they're like, look, Colorado. And then there was another one for Wyoming, that dude's a Democrat, I believe. I believe even Governor Polis had like a hand in the act itself as well. And it's like a whole thing. So again, it was like a huge bipartisan thing. But yeah, I know that like one of the front runners for it was Cory Gardner. Anyways, not the point. Fuck that fool. But also, thanks for that. That's cool.
Yeah, good job voting once
about public lands
the right way, Corey. Thanks. But otherwise, Eric, what else is up?
Real quick, Ted Cruz was talking about the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management.
I was just on their website today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not just Black Lives Matter.
That's exactly
like when
what
I pulled
thought
it up, like
through it.
He's just saying that BLM already controls far too much land, and that was about 90,000 acres in North Texas. Which is like what he was specifically.
Will you look up a couple details, like a real quick highlight rundown of what the Outdoors Act was?
Called the biggest federal lands bill in 50 years, the Great American Outdoors Act passed the U.S. Senate on Wednesday just in time to add life to Cory Gardner's re-election campaign. Gardner's legislation fully funds the once endangered Land and Water Conservation Fund at $900 million and takes on roughly $20 billion maintenance backlog on federal public lands.
Now, you can act like that's nothing, but this is also coming at a time from an administration that's getting rid of all fucking environmental anything. They're throwing any kind of look to anything, and I think they have been in support of shit that opposes public lands and about selling those private lands and shit. So, again, we can hate the motherfucker around the world, but at this low part, we got to be like, hey, food, that was tight. That, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That you backed that. Sure, maybe even politically, you just did it because you saw it as a point where you're like, oh, look, here's an opportunity. I don't give a fuck, but here's an opportunity for me to do this and this and this. Hey man, I don't give a fuck. It's going through now. It's in the House. So,
wilderness bill in the House. That's what you mean?
Hey.
That's what you mean, though, right?
Yeah, no, I like outdoors shit. I'm an outdoors dude.
I mean, I hear you.
I gotta support that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Cory in the House. Disney
Cory
show
in the House.
And Cory Gardner.
That sounds like an actual show. I feel like you just
Cory in the House. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you about to have a Mandela effect on me.
It was the follow up to That's So Raven.
That's So Raven. Cory's little brother.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
There was a That's So Raven spinoff.
Yeah, the dad works at the White House, so it's Cory in the White House.
Cory in the House.
Oh shit, that would be a hilarious third follow up. That Cory in the White House. Now it's like Cory in the White House, but it's Cory Gardner fulfilling his final days as a senator after he loses to Andrew Romanoff in the primary, and just going in there and
hey man, I heard something fun. Will you explain? I feel like there was some kind of controversy or something about Romanoff. Will you tell me about that?
I think I know what you're talking about. There was a controversy, I believe, around a statement and possibly a vote around an immigration vote. Or something, or I haven't even gone into read through what he said or what actually happened. I haven't gotten that deep. But it was something around immigration, and from what I've heard, mostly from just a few of the activists that I know personally, that know Andrew personally.
So you're talking about Romanoff apologists?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, they are. I guess they never apologize for him because he apologized for it himself.
You don't have to apologize for people anymore to be an apologist. That's not what it means anymore.
But even, I mean, you can call any supporter an apologist. If you're from the other side, you would call them an apologist for, you know what I mean? Like it just that.
I just became a Cory Gardner apologist.
Yeah.
You weren't paying attention?
I heard it, but I just mostly tried
Homies
to
of Romanoff are definitely Romanoff apologists. Know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's, I think, just like I said, it's also, that's just called support, though, too.
Real quick, and the specific vote that he's mentioning is in 2006. He voted for local law enforcement to report arrestees to federal authorities if officers suspected them of being in the U.S. unlawfully.
Can you read his
Say that again? What the fuck? Wait, I got lost.
Romanoff as being somebody that's like on the left side, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh. He said what now?
He voted for Laura Biller. Where was it? 2016 measures requiring local law enforcement to report people to federal programs or organizations if they are suspected of being in the U.S. unlawfully.
Basically, a cop can go up and be like, I think you're an immigrant, and we're going to detain you with ICE. And he supported that.
Yep. Here's the thing is, I'll tell you right now, Democrats do not give a fuck what you voted for.
You mean the Democratic voting population, not Democratic like the
Democrats
administration, the party, the like controlling arm, like lizard tentacle.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm talking about Democrats. I'm talking about people.
Registered Democrats. Maybe we could define them that way.
Okay, sure. Democrats registered don't give a fuck about what you voted for.
But it's not
Exhibit A.
So hold on. It's not about what they voted for, but it's what happens in the campaigning to let people set sides on each one. Because on an immigration thing like that, you can enter Exhibit A in a minute because Exhibit 0 is coming in first. But sorry, now I don't even remember. Go ahead and do your Exhibit A. You got your finger up still fucking still. What about Joe Biden?
That motherfucker has voted for all the goofy shit.
Right, he's a piece of shit.
Nobody gives a fuck.
They do, but they only give a fuck when they see an ad that says like Joe Biden voted for the blah blah blah. And the same thing with Cory Gardner, where the attack ads coming from Cory Gardner are gonna be about Romanoff if he takes the primary for the Democrats, which I don't know if he will actually. 𝗃𝗵𝗯𝗃 could easily take it too, because he's the in between of those two, right? He's the Colorado in between of Democrat that's pretty much a centered, Republican centrist, right? 𝗃𝗵𝗯𝗃. And so he might win, but if Romanoff wins, we're going to see Cory Gardner. We're going to see ads that is like, he's like against immigration. He's against immigration. The White People Olympics is politics, isn't it, in America?
I guess. I'm not interested in the White People Olympics. Y'all just tell me who's playing and who wins.
But I think in the local ones, you should probably care, because this is like the regional trials to the Olympics.
I'm just kidding, guys. Fuck. Now I'm a fucking racist apologist.
Maybe we could get some more ists in here for you. We could maybe do some transphobic apologies. I think you hit some of those before. Do some homophobic apologies.
I didn't hit those. Fucking what's her name hit those?
J.K. Rowling.
No, I'm serious.
Huh?
Nothing. No, J.K.
Yeah. Oh, J.K. I was gonna say something cool. Don't remember.
Well, I'm glad one of my killer jokes took you off topic. You want to talk about this beer? Let's drink this beer.
Yeah, let's drink this beer.
You seem like you need some coffee, actually.
Yes, I do. And I don't want to talk about politics.
I don't either. I want to talk about this beer.
Sorry.
But it might happen anyway. Who knows? It's going to be interesting to see what happens overall. Like I said, I think Trump is making it a little easier, or the administration is making it a little easier for Joe Biden to get in there and make it a race. And I think it is a race now.
Hassan Is that how you say his name? Hassan Minhaj. Hassan Minhaj. He did one of his new episodes on Netflix. I've seen it before, but I don't like
Patriot Act.
Yeah. And I've seen it before, but I don't like watch it religiously or nothing. I think I watched like the first episode and I was like, oh, this is cool, whatever. But again, I don't just sound like the white people Olympics. See, it's racist. I know, but it's also funny. Listen, these motherfuckers. I was chilling with the homie Enemy. Shout out to Adrian, and he put on the latest episode, and he talks about the vote, right? How people vote, and he explains that the two-party system comes from the winner-takes-all vote that we have. And the winner-takes-all vote that we have is the reason that you end up with the way that it splits, right? And that I even forgot the name of it, but there's some other kind of voting way where it's like a multiple choice, and you choose like your top, you list your top to least favorite, right? Your top choice.
Caucus.
No. You like, I forget what they call it. Will you look it up, Eric?
That's what they call it, at least in the...
It's got a specific name when he calls it, and it's because it's...
But that's what I mean. The specific name of being called a caucus instead of a primary is because you get that multiple choice,
we're not talking
second
about,
choice,
we're not
third
talking
choice.
about that. We're talking about the particular, because he didn't call it a primary. He called it winner-takes-all voting. And that's an actual phrase that that I had never really heard it like that before too. But then he like shows a bunch of clips of people saying winner takes all voting, and like all kinds of professionals like using it as like a buzzword, right? And it was like the antithesis to it was this other one where it's like multiple choice, and I forget what some whatever called voting, and you do like, so your choices would be like whoever. For like the Democratic nominee, for instance, you would vote, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, fucking whoever. And then when they all came through, if anybody got 50% or more, they automatically won. But if nobody got 50% or more, then it would go down to like, these ones down here it starts to hit your second votes, and your second, like once that one's gone, all those people go to their second vote, and their second vote now counts, and it recounts, and it just does that until somebody gets the 50%.
Yeah,
and then when you hit that way, I guess Maine was the first state to do it in the 2018 election, and in the 2000, and he shows like an example of the campaign commercial, and instead of the two Democrats like going like head to head, it was a joint commercial, and at the end they're both standing there talking about, you could put my name first, and then the other lady's like, oh, you could put my name first, but either way you'll know that your leadership is gonna blah together, and it was like a whole thing, you know what I mean? And it showed not only that but that's how you end up with your third and fourth parties that don't ruin the votes, quote unquote, that they,
right.
People that can hit. Anyways, it was I knew some of that history, but I had never seen voting in that perspective before, and I learned a lot about voting.
A lot of primaries work, right? And the primaries that work like that are the ones that are called caucuses, and they're called caucuses and not a primary because of that, right?
They didn't hold up. I did a caucus, and I voted Bernie Sanders. It wasn't this or this. It was Bernie Sanders. In this, you mark a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, I've never participated in the Colorado caucuses. They're not anything anymore, so I haven't been able to. But I can tell you the way that the Iowa caucus works, the way the Nevada caucus worked, all of those. The reason it takes sometimes a long time to count some of those caucus votes is because they do work in that system of where it's not a winner-take-all system in some of the primaries. So some primaries are, some aren't, and even in most of the primaries where it's like if you vote for Bernie Sanders, the delegation of votes, you can still get votes, or you can still get delegate votes with the primary, right? Which is closer to the system that you're talking about, where you can lose the popular vote and still maintain some ability to continue, right? Which isn't the same thing as what you're talking about with like taking part of the vote. But the way our final system works of the electoral college, where at that point, then everything just kind of filters up into this, like everything has been filtered down to 2 parties, and then it goes up into the bigger system, which then only gets 2 parties, and there's never a chance to have a third one come in.
Ranked choice voting.
Yeah, it's ranked as multiple choice and plurality. Plurality. There we go. Is a winner take all. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know if you were finished making this statement, but I'm gonna pretend that you were, because I feel like you were getting anxious to talk about this beer.
Or to stop talking about politics, one of the two. But I was done with my point, and we should talk about this beer.
Ooh, I'm sorry I missed the end of your point trying to figure out what that was called.
Yeah, well, good thing we recorded it.
I'll listen to it later, and I'll call you if it was a good point.
Turn your mic on, Steven. We're going to do this now.
You're going to get a call. This fucking guy, that was a good fucking point, eh?
Well, I got to pull up this beer. All right, this is the one we're drinking. And so part of the reason that I chose this one is because when I was reading the descriptions online, they do like a full description on like the back of the beer here. But the one online just says taste like and then colon. And the description for this beer that we're drinking here is just guava berry weed.
Guava berry weed. That sounds like some shit I would pull off the shelf, my guy.
See, I thought so.
It's not like dandelion weed, is it? That's kind of floral.
No, I'm pretty sure, because usually, I think on this one even too, instead of saying weed on like a lot of the cans, if they want to use that as a descriptor, they use the word cannabis. Yeah, cannabis is on this one too. In like the last sentence, level of intense tropical berry and cannabis flavors. You're about to get knighted. That last part is because the beer is called Green Queen.
All right. Okay.
And another reason that I brought these guys on too is because it's the first time we've recorded in a while. But this is one of 3 black-owned breweries in Colorado. Oh, nice. And they fucking kill it. Novel Strand. I love like their whole idea. I love going into breweries that look like the breweries that I build in my mind. That if I ever ran one, they would look like that. And Novel Strand is 100% location, size, and they're like, they're what they believe in. Everything. I'm just like top to bottom. They check every box for me for breweries I love. Absolutely love. And so this is one of their flagship beers, but they tossed in another extra set of hops from Africa in this one and called it the Green Queen. I think the flagship is called Green Showers. That's what it's called. You okay over there? The Green Queen a little too much for you, buddy?
It was cool all the way up until like I went to sip it. Here's the thing that happened. Is you ever been driving and you're like making a turn or something, right? You had a light. Boom. And you're making a turn. Here you go. And as you're making a turn, the people in that lane are now making a turn, right? You guys are both a couple cars back. And as you're both turning, you look at a car and quickly your eyes make contact with the driver. Driver makes contact with you, and you recognize that person immediately as somebody you went to high school or something with. And it's a real quick, you almost get to say what's up, but not even enough time to react before you keep on going.
Just enough time for both of you to realize and maybe realize like that both of you are realizing
but
it,
how
right?
quickly that happens. Like your brain locks in, sees that person, recognizes that person, wants to say what's up, but also maintains driving this curve that you're going.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All in that little snap of a moment. In the same way that happens, I was looking at this whole can and everything was off the hook. And when I turned it sideways like this, I didn't see the design, the hops that are in the like
off the background.
They're like real lightly in there. You know what I mean?
It's
like
a wheat too, or grades as well. Hops add grades.
Well, they're putting a real geometric pattern, like gridded out. They're real gridded out, right? And so
Very
they almost
Louis Vuitton.
They almost look like dots though. From this side are like long lines. And as I was bringing it to my mouth, my mind said, that looked like a pickle. And right when I tasted it, the first thing I tasted was pickle juice. And I was kind of like, this is weird. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm looking at it and I'm like, those aren't pickles. There shouldn't be anything pickle about this. Nobody said pickle yet. Like, what the fuck? That would have been a thing they would have told me. You know?
Yeah.
So I haven't tried it yet without the pickle, but that's my explanation of why you got that, why you saw that first reaction that way. Your boy thought it was a pickle beer. And it freaked me out.
It's amazing what our brains can do, like especially in like quick perceptions like smell, like taste, that can be really fooled by like quick little mind tricks like you just said, where your brain picked up pickle for just a moment and it sounded like it was like almost on your way to your mouth. Like you didn't have a choice to decide this isn't about pickles.
Yeah, that's why I said that first one that's so fast. That's the best example I could come up with. Yeah. I remember I saw the homegirl Nicole from high school. Shout out to Nicole. And we were going just like that. Probably haven't seen her since. And this is fucking years ago.
Nicole in the Jeep?
No.
Oh, that's a different Nicole from high school.
Yeah, Nicole.
But I had that experience with that person.
No, we were just turning right there on Morrison. And in that split second, boom, we said, what's up? I remember she smiled and everything. I almost got a what's up out, but it was like, it didn't matter. Boom. But it was crazy how quickly we both recognized each other. We both saw each other. We both knew what was up. Like, hey, And he was like, that happened so fast. Brain didn't even have to process it. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You do something, somebody walks in the door, it's your mom. You're not expecting your mom, so you have to like process what's going on. Who are you? It takes you even a second if it's dark. You're like, what the fuck?
That's what that noise is for.
Yeah, that whole kind of thing. Yeah. Isn't that weird? But in a different moment, boom, bang. I had a weird pickle moment where I was like, I think this is about to be like pickle juice.
Yeah.
Brace yourself.
Well, that's why like I don't like to say anything about what I taste in the beer before you guys do, because it'll influence your mindset. That if I come in and say this beer, like I told Eric, the beer that we drank before from these guys, 𝗔𝗃𝗏𝗏, it's supposed to taste like passion fruit. And, if you know what passion fruit tastes like, you're going to go in expecting something. But if you're like Justin said, I don't know what the fuck passion fruit smells or tastes like.
No idea.
So Justin goes in with no expectation. So it tastes whatever. And if he likes it, he likes it. And so I don't try and say anything about taste because I don't want to influence your guys' perception of the beers from what I taste in it, Yeah,
that sound like a smell they made up.
Passion fruit?
Yeah.
Passion fruit is a real fruit.
I understand it's a real fruit, but it sounds like a flavor they made up, like for a candle.
It sounds like some white people shit where they heard the real name of it and then they're like, we'll call it passion fruit.
Call that candle Sunset Beach. Call that candle fucking Mango Sky. And call that one passion fruit. Perfect. Nailed it.
I think that's the name of the candle I'm going to make. Perfect. How do you spell that?
Spell it like purr, and then use like dog and cat hair to make the wicks.
Oh my god, that's so disgusting.
Yeah, boy. I guarantee someone will buy it.
These candles are made from straight organic dog ear wax. It's pulled from strays, and we only use that. We use the finest fragrances that are all natural.
Dude, I save dryer lint for
Tinder,
for camping and shit, right? So to make some shit out of it. But I try to keep, I try to
Doritos for the same reason.
I try to know what the blend is that I'm doing, right? So if I'm doing a bunch of polyester, like, funny blends,
blend.
I won't save those blends, those lints. I'll throw those out. But when I throw a grip of cotton in there, I'm like, hell yeah. I throw in towels or something, boom, right? And so I threw in some blankets.
Oh man!
And now the blanket, especially, there's the one that 𝗶𝗃𝗁𝗃𝗃 got, my cat. That one was hairy as fuck. Well, I threw all the blankets in there, washed them all, threw them in the dryer, boom, bang, right? Then forgot about it. Went threw some towels in there, the good ones too, the good cotton ones that are all falling apart that like make the good lint. You know what I'm saying?
That like clear lint that looks like white. There's no color to it.
Good to go, boy.
I know.
And then talking about. Boom, hit that, scooped it all out of the dryer, threw it in the thing, stuffed it down. As I stuffed it down, it goes through every layer. And as I bring it back up, I see all of 𝗶𝗃𝗁𝗃𝗃's hair. And I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't clear out that blanket one.
Oh.
And so now I got a bunch of lint that I can't like go in there and take all the hair out. That would be trash. So now I just got to make the things out of it. So now I've collected an entire jar, trying to collect as much as I can so that when I mix it all together, it'll be less hair per little inch of whatever in my mind.
The parts per million of hair of 𝗶𝗃𝗁𝗃𝗃 to cotton.
Imagine having to smell that shit when you're trying to light a fire and shit.
Like, damn, what's the
For a moment before you get the fire going, all you smell is the fucking fire thing.
I had a thread count joke and I fucking choked on it. Damn it.
Oh, sorry, I talked over you.
No, it's okay. I definitely choked on it. You.
Anyways, ridiculous story, but I wanted to let y'all know about my lint troubles.
Oh man, that made me laugh at the very least.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Anybody listening that's going through lip troubles,
I'll let you
let us know about that.
Let me know what the message board is.
Yep, 1-800 LRVT.
Hell yeah.
Hit us up. We're here for you. Justin's mostly here for you. To talk to you about your lint problems. He's that's enough.
We will be around to laugh.
I'm here to talk about your trout problems. Let's talk about your trout problems.
I don't got trout problems. I don't have any trout problems.
You got all the problems with trout, boy. That's why you're going tomorrow. Hopefully Darren will help you catch fish.
Maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. Shout out to Darren. I don't know what I'm doing, so I can't say I'm any kind of professional or anything. I'm just going to practice and learn, and I don't really care if I catch any fish. So it's about the experience and hanging out.
Fish. Yeah, you'll catch a fish, buddy.
Yeah.
Hope you eat a fish. That's the fun part.
That would be the good part. I would like to eat a fish tomorrow.
Yep, that's pretty sweet, eating fish. Not going to be able to go, unfortunately. There's a UFC fight tomorrow.
There is, yeah. Also some protest tomorrow.
I know that as well for Elijah McCain.
That's right. Oh, I did want to mention one thing for the beer culture that I'm just impressed with, where one of the other like beer reviewers that I really respect and love, Don't Drink Beer, runs a podcast with another couple of guys, but 3 days ago, he put up a post where he was just like, you know, he gets all kinds of beer sent to him because he reviews crazy beers and has been doing it for years. But he was like, you know, I'm going to put up like, I think it was like maybe 12 of beers this size from like around the country that people really love. And was like, you know, if you send me an email showing me that you donated $5, every $5, I'll give you an entry into this raffle. And so, like I said, lots of breweries send beer to this guy. They see him do this post. So then they start adding additional prize boxes to his raffle, saying, okay, we'll donate this for the second person of the raffle, third person.
That's tight.
They end up getting, over 3 days, they end up getting so much. They have to close the raffle because they end up having like 30 breweries offering everything. So shout out to, we had them on the podcast, Westbound and Down. Out of Idaho Springs. They put up a package, and then also, who was the other Colorado brewery? Gosh, I'm not going to remember. Darn it.
Coors.
No, it was another local one, smaller local one. They put up
Breckenridge Brewery.
Some good shit to that. No, it wasn't anything big. It's another like smaller one that you'd be like, I never knew they were.
I'm just kidding, buddy.
But even like it got into like the whiskey world of things, and like some whiskey people put in, and it even went as deep as some breweries offering their annual memberships, which generally cost anywhere from like $300 to $500. And most of these breweries that are offering them, you have to sit on a wait list for years to get on them, because the only time you can get one is if somebody drops out. And most of these beer heads like that, they don't drop out, right? And so they offered up, a few breweries offered up club memberships. They ended up making in 3 days 50 G's.
Fuck yeah.
50 fucking G's, dude. I was like, holy shit.
That's cool.
Holy shit. That is fucking amazing. It was all Elijah McClain and Breonna Taylor fundraising and pushing that. Yeah. And every post went towards that. And even after they closed submissions, breweries and distilleries are still offering packages saying add them in to the next one, because all these people that putting in every $5 got you an entry. And so now like even more breweries are seeing like put another package in, put another one in, put another, and they're just drawing, you know, they're saying like, you know, there's nothing, you don't get to pick anything. This is the person who wins this. This is the next person. This is the next person. It's just, you know, random.
It's hard as
fuck. And
fuck.
it ended up being like, they didn't expect this. They expected like, you know, I think they probably realistically thought probably $5,000 when they started this. They run a pretty good Patreon that like gets good money. Alex Kidd, the guy who is Don't Drink Beer, he's, you know,
that's tight as fuck.
He does a really good job of like doing all this shit and has been doing it for years and years and years. And I love their podcast, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃. if you love beer and want to talk more about beer, hear other people talk about it in the same kind of vein that we do, where it's not like super serious, but Alex Kidd is very fucking knowledgeable. He's a lawyer by day, but homebrewer just like me. Like his journey through beer is about the same age as us. So it's like, I've always loved Alex Kidd and what he does. And he got famous by trashing breweries, like trashing fucking
That's fucked up.
big breweries, not trashing them in a bad way, but drinking their beer and then being like, this beer is seriously flawed. Like you have to read his reviews because whoo. But I mean, people send him their shit because he doesn't only trash shit. If it's good, he'll let people know. But
I'm just talking shit.
Ooh, I loved his shit. Don't Drink Beer is just awesome. If you ever want to, just another level of beer love that I get into is him and his podcast. But like I said, what they did with that, and they had, like I said, they had to cut donations on Sunday, or no, not Sunday. I think on Thursday. It was 3 days in. They had to cut the whole campaign because they were backlogged with like literally thousands of emails because they said, email us your screenshot of your donation. And so thousands of emails. There, right?
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to.
But yeah, shout out to Don't Drink Beer. Shout out to 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏.
Yeah.
And all those breweries and distilleries that added into there, because that shit fucking made me cry a little bit inside.
This is the first time hearing it. I don't know none of y'all's names, never heard of y'all, but that's tight as fuck. Keep doing what you do.
Hell
Keep
yeah.
doing what you do.
Know what I'm talking about?
Well,
you're just still working, right? Your camera's still on?
Oh yeah, I was just checking something else.
Okay, because I wanted to ask you something. I wanted you to if you could, and I'm all right. So let's see. I don't want you to re-say anything that you already said. But I wanted to talk about DACA. First and foremost, what is it? Boy, you knew I was about to ask you a question. Now you acting like Steve. Boy, you over here like fucking Guy Spencer. Fucking Guy. Guy Spencer.
DACA is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which is a program that was started by the Obama administration. Actually, just straight up Obama, because it was an executive order allowing migrant children that came to the U.S. before they were 15 temporary visas for work and a social security number.
Okay, and is that like a pathway to citizenship? Like what happens?
Not at all. It's just a temporary, like every 2 years you got to renew.
So you're cool while you're a kid, basically. And then what?
Well, it's just 2 years renewal.
So you're still on DACA?
Yeah, it just keeps going until you either you either get denied approval or get married or bounce from the U.S. It's no real pathway to citizenship.
So first and foremost, when were you moved to the United States?
I think the first time that we came was 2000, but when we actually stayed, 2001, I would have been 3.
So you were 3.
The summer of 2003, yep.
Do you remember?
Not at all.
Not even like bits or pieces or nothing?
I remember having a tricycle with rainbow wheels in Mexico, and then there being like a part of my life that's just missing, and then we're here. That's about it.
As you grew up here, you go to school and shit, right? And I assume, so you go to school, what, like 5, like everybody else? Like preschool, kindergarten? Did you go to preschool? ECE or something?
It was a program at a church around the block from my house because I don't even know if we knew that the school had preschool, but I was just on
they offered it. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Was there English there? Was that where you started English?
Oh, no. I didn't start English until just straight up English classes until 3rd grade. Anything before that was a Spanish teacher, and then we would have like the English courses of like just trying to learn English. And
so did you feel different in those classes?
No, it was what it was. Like it was like primarily my Hispanic school. It was Schenck Elementary.
So was there a gang of kids in the Spanish class?
Basically, everyone that I finished like 5th grade with were in that class.
Oh, so you guys were all together.
Yeah, it was like 2 Spanish classes and then 1 English class.
Sorry, I missed this, Eric. What part of town is this in?
Denver.
Like what part of Denver?
The school's on Louisiana and Knox. Or
oh, okay. I know exactly where that is. Yeah.
like Garfield Park. Yeah, like 2 blocks away from there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a majority like Hispanic. I didn't know, like at the time I wasn't like paying attention to all that type of stuff. I was like, oh shit, Michael's in that other class that like I'm not in. That was just about it.
When did it start to become apparent that it was that like other kids were having opportunities and you weren't, that you didn't have?
So the first time I ever felt like anything different was in 3rd grade, because this kid named Irving came into class one day. We were just talking, and then he started calling us wetbacks. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know what the fuck that means. I just like, I felt bad about it. I was like, that don't sound cool.
Did you you didn't speak English at the time?
No, I did. But like, I still like.
It doesn't make much sense though to just yell.
Yeah,
at
no,
somebody
I get it.
He did that. I felt bad. I was like, that's something different. At the time, I didn't even know if that was like a reality. I don't know what the fuck that meant. But it wasn't until 6th grade when my middle school Kepner offered a trip to. In 6th grade, you could raise funds to go to DC, and then in 8th grade, it's a trip to Europe.
What year were you at Kepner?
8 to 11.
You know, Alim's mom might have worked there when you were there as a assistant, like counselor, like a internship counselor while you were there. Because we lived over in that neighborhood, and she was doing a school program, and she worked in an internship.
Oh yeah, you lived right there in the hood. I forgot that.
That's where Alim was conceived.
That's tight, eh? Hey.
Hell yeah! Shout out to the 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 house. I love that house.
I only drove by it.
Nah, you had to have been there once or twice. I mean, there was a lot of times where like Jose would show up and we would just get hammered or drunk, and it would be like, you know, the friends that Jose would be like me, Tom Lay, Brian, like a lot of the white people were hanging out there. But then Jose would come through. Gotta be white people. See, well, because that's who it was. Because it wasn't the people that would normally hang out with Jose, right? Like around you. Do you know who Tom Lay is?
Those are all Zay's friends. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, especially this is also like 2000 and
Zay
like we said, like 2000.
Zay hung out with us because he snuck into our group by doing a book report or something. He said he was doing a report on us in high school. We were like, all right, we were recording. He's like, we're doing a report on you. Him and Platinum Kids. We were like, all right.
He wasn't lying.
My brother came in and was like, who the fuck is this? Started flexing.
I've heard the story.
Who the fuck are these motherfuckers on my couch? I don't like that shit. I'll come home. And we were like, hold up, fool. Relax. They're the homies. And he was all like, well, what's up? These motherfuckers just on my couch. Y'all didn't tell me.
Like y'all didn't tell me.
I was like, I told you to call you. Anyway, it's hilarious. But no, shout out to Zay. That's my brother now, just so we're clear. And in any case,
but you might have been there when
well, hold on. I did want to go on. I wanted to keep talking a little bit about
just real quick, just to throw it back. If I say Kentucky Market, what do y'all think?
Kentucky Market,
the one right there, where the joint's at, right there on Irving.
So Kentucky Market is
in Kentucky
is the little convenience store that was like right across the street. It was also the location where everybody wanted to fight.
Yeah. Oh, there's always one of them.
I drove motherfuckers to fight over there. I didn't live in the neighborhood. We was some blocks away, but I drove motherfuckers.
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, let's just get back into what we were talking about with Eric. That's more interesting.
Yeah, I want to do. So, if you don't mind, you know, if you want to eat, you want to talk about something else, boy. No, but so you said that in 3rd grade, 6th grade was when you were looking to go on this trip, And then so what happened? So other motherfuckers like.
I couldn't. I mean,
how'd you find out?
It was like a widely known program from like the school. Everybody like that knew somebody that like was older at the school. They just like, oh yeah, you're going to Europe like after this. It's a hard ass program. I don't know how the fuck.
It was big enough that I knew about it. Like as soon as you said that in 𝗏𝗏, I was like, oh, 𝗏𝗍𝗃 was there when that was happening at least, and definitely like it's a not just like a well known, but like if you're going to 𝗏𝗏 and you want to do a good job, like you want to be like one of the students doing a good job, your parents are pushing you. That's like one of the entryways like into doing that, and so because it looks good for high school because those are the kids that they see. Because 𝗏𝗏, especially at that time, was a rough school in DPS. They were incredibly understaffed. So when 𝗏𝗍𝗃 was doing that, it was like one counselor for I think half the school, and then another one for the other half. Which 𝗏𝗏, like you said, was a 3-year middle school.
I feel like that's most of schools in Denver.
And it's wild. It was when we went there, absolutely. And they're always trying to get more in there because they need them. Like, can you imagine 400 kids being at your disposal? You have to manage 400 kids. Cases, and most of these kids are bilingual at some level, and most of these kids have learning challenges in some way or another mostly because they've been diagnosed as learning challenges because they've been poorly taught for most of their life, or they didn't speak English, so they just put them in some kind of class, so then it's easier to get them help. Honestly, it is a cry for help.
You can't read English.
Yeah. And there are better programs now, and even when you were in school, there are really good programs in Colorado and like especially Denver. Denver did a good job.
So I did want to ask. So how did you find out then?
About that program?
No, how did you find out when like were you gonna try for it and then somebody told you like, hey, nope, or was what happened?
Yeah. Found out about it, told my parents, and they were like, oh yeah, no, you can't do that.
Oh.
We can't fly. Like this was what's up. I still didn't really understand it. Like to be honest, like I was just like, oh, I can't.
My family can't fly. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't fly. Like that's about it. Turns out in 9th grade, I found out that like, I could have flown to DC, but like
you could have.
Yeah.
Oh, but your parents were just like not having it. They're like, we're not gonna have
scared.
you. They were scared. TSA and getting clipped.
Well, to be honest, I think they might have just not known that I could do that.
Well, I'll tell you right now, they would have pulled you aside for a random frisk.
They would have.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was a kid then.
They don't give a fuck.
I don't know. With they're also most of the teachers at 𝗏𝗏 are probably white people. Most of them, not all of them. But when you say most teachers in most schools anywhere are white people, even in schools where most of the students aren't.
Why do you think that is?
Because college is how you get into teaching, and it's hard to get into college when there are systematic oppressions to stop you from doing so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And also, I think there's like
lack of funds
there's a savior like complex. There's a lot of shit that goes on, I think, with the people that join into those programs, because a lot of the people that are
they all think they're gonna be fucking dangerous minds.
Well, that or like they're either people that are really successful and really brilliant people that could be teachers.
Freedom Riders. Remember Freedom Riders?
Yeah.
There's the one he's gonna get. Go ahead.
That could be teaching, but they end up going into industry because it makes them a lot more money. They could be great teachers. They wanted to teach, but when they see a salary getting offered to them because they're fucking amazing and they're talented, and especially if they're bilingual, or especially if they, can offer more than just their knowledge around that subject, but cultures and other things, like that's when they can take these jobs where they're making a lot of money. And teaching, my first teaching job, I made less than 40 grand. When I moved to Florida, I took a $10,000 pay cut and went back down to under 40 grand, and you're supposed to get a pay raise every year of a few percent. But most teachers that has started teaching a little bit after I did have never seen a pay increase ever. Like there's teachers that have been teaching for 6-7 years in 𝗏𝗏, across Denver, across the nation, that started at 30,000. Most teachers start in that range, even in Denver, and still make that money after 7 years of being in a position.
They need more money, boy.
Shout out to TikTok for letting me know about all the younger teachers, like 20-something-year-olds that are already teaching like high school, because that's what they wanted to do.
I remember
I started teaching middle school at 22.
My 7th grade social studies teacher was 24. And he started, we went on they called it the Globetrotters. And it was basically if your parents could afford it. And it wasn't that much. I don't think it was like, I think the first trip we did was like $400 or something like that, or $300 or something like that. And we were gone for a week. And we went to Arizona and the Grand Canyon, and like basically took a bus tour of like the whole Southwest and did all kind. But it was with teachers and shit, right? And he was off the hook. Well, I remember Mr. Gomez was 24 because Mrs. whatever her name was, don't remember her name, but she was fine. She was a science teacher, and she was 26. They were both chaperones there. After that, them motherfuckers was dating. I was like, damn, they was smashing.
I've chaperoned
I was like, no wonder we were able. Yo, we did a gang of shit. Shout out to fucking R.I.P. Trevor and then Chris Skinner was there, man. Yo, gang of motherfuckers. I feel like, and it was fun, dude. And it was like a weird, cool thing that I ain't never done before. My parents had we never had money like that.
Yeah.
You know, to just ship out like that. And it was like right at the exact same time my dad got a nasty promotion. You know what I mean? Got a nasty like raise or whatever. Like, it was tight. And yeah.
Oh yeah, those kind of trips were
I went to Arizona and shit.
Those kind of trips were my favorite part of teaching, getting to do some shit like that. I only got to do it during the summer mostly, but...
Yeah, 24 and 26. I think about that all the time now. It's 33. I'll be like, God damn, that motherfucker was young, bro.
I was young as... Ryan Glasspool, who you taught with, right? I taught with him. Shout out to Ryan Glasspool. He'll be on here at some point. But I taught with him in my second year of teaching, and like his first year of teaching was my second year of teaching, and he was older than me at the time, but I was 23, I think, that year.
Damn.
I had just had a kid. I was married. Like, it was a whole different fucking life, right? And it was the hardest thing I ever did teaching in Aurora. That fucking school opened my eyes to so many things. Then I moved right away to Florida and started teaching in a school that was even wildly different and like wildly eye-opening at the same time.
Oh yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, fucking,
how young were you when you hit your first
blood
DACA
16
roadblock
or roadblock?
What was 16?
16 is the first year that I applied. That was like the year that it came out.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck I was really doing. My parents were like, "You got to start getting on this." I was like, "All right, yeah, sure, we'll do it."
Did you know at this time why? You knew what was up by then, or no?
I knew that it was like for me to be able to work and like get a license, but like I wasn't really like paying attention to it that much.
Word.
Man,
were a gang of your homies doing it too?
No, I know. It took me a while to figure out or to learn about the other people that I knew that were on DACA. Even then, I can count the people that I know that are on DACA on one hand.
Crazy.
They're open about it at least. But first roadblock when it came to DACA, I think it would have been just like when I started applying about like 2 schools. Yeah, when I found out about like the FAFSA and all that type of stuff. Because up to that point, like I got a job. I was working at Target. Got my driver's permit at like 17 so that I can get like the actual license at 18.
Seemed pretty normal. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing that crazy until like at that point is when I started like pay more attention to like, oh shit, I can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. You know, like friends start planning like, oh, we're going to do like a graduation trip to like fucking Europe. I'm like, that's tight.
Yeah.
See y'all after that. Not like that type of thing. But not like, yeah. Fortunate enough for it like to take that long, at least.
And so you're on DACA now?
Mm-hmm.
And so how long does that continue? Is there a plan for that?
Until you apply for citizenship, right? Do you have to go through the whole citizenship process to like end the DACA process?
I think because I have relatives that are citizens. I think it's like starting next year. I can start applying through them. Like next year or like 2 years from now. But DACA expires November of next year. So 2021. So I would have to like reapply for all that summer.
What's the process of application like?
The first time you apply, you need to have I remember getting like a stack of like paperwork like that thick from the school. It was like every grade that I ever got from as soon as I started getting grades to high school.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
That's
all of that.
Wild.
Like you have to prove that you were in the U.S. on the specific day that the program was announced.
Did they include your like medical records in your school records that they gave?
Or I feel like they might have. I didn't really actually go through like the whole paperwork.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was an inch and a half thick, like if you didn't see that on the camera, Eric was holding up that the stack of papers was about an inch and a half, 2 inches thick. And I mean, if you're getting all that information from schools, I would assume that all like your immunization, all the things that schools record and all that stuff, which seems like an invasion of privacy, but you know, that's how we treat people in this country with well, we treat everybody like that, I guess, documented and undocumented. But what was I going to say? I don't know. I'm just so disappointed when I hear that shit. You know, these are people and these are students. Like you said, it was normal up until that point, and then you become an adult and you start seeing all these roadblocks. Well, as soon as you turn 18, you see all these roadblocks, and it doesn't seem like that's not on purpose.
For sure. And you talked about that too in your video. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think the roadblocks were when I really started paying attention to them weren't actual like physical roadblocks or like legislation or whatever it was. It's like the mental roadblocks of like, oh shit, like you know, to give like an example right now would be like I can stay living with my parents and help them out as much as I can. Or I can try to get an apartment, put all my money towards that, and not be able to help them as much. Like, it's just like that balance. Little things like that. Like, I feel like I'm hella impulsive when it comes to a lot of things. And it's because I feel like I'm living life 2 years at a time. Like, that renewal process at a time. Because, like, I don't know. I could be denied next time that I apply. Cool. I lose everything. Go back to Mexico. Start all over.
And again, back to something that you don't remember. You remember a tricycle. That tricycle ain't there no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and that was why I wanted you to talk about that, because I think that's like the part that I don't know, people that are like don't understand DACA or what's going on or stuff like that. Like when they don't understand like what they're like the context of like the kids, dude. Kids, like, and think about now as an adult. This is an adult now, and his earliest childhood memory is a tricycle, and he knows it's in Mexico probably because somebody told him when he told him about the tricycle. But besides that, every memory he has is here in the United States. Same as you and me and anybody else from the United States that's listening to this. Yet, you know, he's in the middle of facing the situation where Donald Trump is over here trying to get rid of shit. The Supreme Court has to come in and you know, lay shit out. And it's like this shit, it's all stupid. It's like this is somebody that's, again, this is somebody as American as any other American. And it's like there's this idea that people have that it's okay to send these kids or these young adults to somewhere that they've never been. Sure, they've been there physically, but they've never been there. And I've asked Eric about that shit before. I mean, I've talked to Eric about, like, is there anywhere in Mexico about, like, you know, anything about immediately his answer was like, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, like he was that young. Okay.
I think we lived in front of like a junkyard. There was a little convenience store around the corner. Little things like that. I remember like vividly. I think we went through like a whole loaf of bread just making toast to like hear the fucking toast pop up from the toaster. But it's like little memories like that. I'm like, huh, that's weird that like that's the one thing that stuck.
Huh?
But like with the Supreme Court, did y'all hear why it kind of got passed?
No.
Fill me in.
So it was Supreme Court Justice Robert something. He is Republican. Normally he would have voted for it to like go away. His vote was the deciding vote from to make it 5-4, where he said if the Trump administration have given reasons to get rid of the program, that would have been legal. Just because they didn't give like good enough reasons is the reason that like he voted to make it legal, to like let it stay for right now.
Well, you also have to understand that those dudes, that's the way they vote. First of all, they're voting via the law.
Yeah,
that's their whole
interpretation of the law.
Yes, their personal interpretation of the law.
Which is the important part of the Supreme Court.
Yes, and so of course there are biases, but especially if you're gonna, vote against your stereotype, there's, they're always gonna have some kind of thing to say like that, and it's always gonna be like
Eric, can you tell us who voted against?
Oh, yes. While I'm pulling this up, I know that the Supreme Court Justice.
Liberals beware.
That voted for DACA to stay was also the deciding vote that made Obamacare legal.
Or that judged that Obamacare was legal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have these names? I think there's a name on this list. 9 justices. 4 of them voted
9 justices
against this action. I don't know what it's called. Bill.
I don't know. Do we need to talk about the justices' names? We are getting here towards the end.
I just want to know the names of them. We don't have to talk about any of them except for one if I think they're on the list. But I just thought it was going to be faster to pull up their names. Sorry. Oh, I can see him doing it. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, it's been there the whole time.
I know it's been there the whole time. I didn't realize that his screen was... I just watched the sound the whole time. I didn't realize the other part was what he was doing.
The whole thing is what he's doing. It's just a duplicate of his screen.
I can't figure it out right now.
All right. But I heard that everybody's favorite RGB was on that 4 as one of the against. I heard.
Against what?
Voting for that. That was one of the votes. What is one of the votes that was the losing votes?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
That's what I heard.
About.
So I'm trying to get you to look up. That's
wait, of which one?
The one we're talking about, the DACA bill, just now.
No, she wasn't.
Did you see who voted for what? You should be able to find it on Ballotpedia.
It's tight that I can hear the computer.
He said that earlier. He said now he figured out how to make us hear the computer.
Well, you know what? I wasn't paying attention, Steven.
It's because you were blazed, Justin.
Wow. Shit.
Yo, I found out that so like a month, 2 months ago, I bought a pack of like mints that were like CBD that I would like take in the morning. Thought that was cool. Bought another pack last month. Didn't really pay it. Yep.
You've been getting blazed.
I've been getting blazed every morning accidentally.
Is that way can make, my dude?
Yeah, boy.
Just trying to get that fresh breath and ended up with a little bit more freshness than he thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit. While he's pulling that up,
feeling like
let's talk
Snoop
about music.
every morning.
Let's wrap up with some music because there's
Music,
been a
what?
bunch of shit that came out.
Do you want to? Let's just wrap it up. To be honest, we've been on for a minute now. Well, let's wrap it up. You want to say anything else about DACA or anything else that's going on?
Fuck racists.
Hell yeah. Fuck racists. If you want to hear about Steven's music preferences, you catch us on the next episode. Let your people's nice, Steven. You got anything else to say?
Yeah. Fuck racists.
Motherfuck them.
Easy.
Holla.